Welcome to So Burnt, where we are sober.
But burnt.
I'm Tiffany,
And I'm Curtis.
and our intention with starting this podcast was really just because, for the most part, and no offense, most recovery podcasts are super boring.
Now, I wouldn't say boring. I feel like there's 100 recovery podcasts, and they all focus on the stigma and the seriousness, and which is all good.
Right.
But there isn't one where we could just talk about the bullshit and have fun with it. What is it?
Absolutely.
Rule 62
Yes.
or something. I always forget the
Yes.
number. We're not supposed to take ourselves so seriously.
Yes.
And I fear everybody does.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it turns a lot of people off from sobriety.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was my main concern. When I got sober, I was like, dude, this is going to be boring. I'm going to hate my life. Like, I'm not going to have any fun.
yeah.
You know, I got to like wear a tie and like, you know.
Not a tie. I thought that my personality was going to just go away. I thought that I was not going to be the same person. I thought my life was going to be boring. And the truth is, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, quite to the contrary.
Yeah.
It took a minute. It took a minute for me to figure out how to have fun and how to enjoy myself sober.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's do like a brief, not bore the people, but do like a brief introduction to who we are, because they have no idea.
They might know who you are. You're famous already.
A little bit. Shut up. Not even close.
Go ahead. Tell us
So I have been in sobriety for a little over 4.5 years. I'll be taking 5 years this September. I don't like drug of choice. I stay away from it because I think it's a setup personally. I think that when you think that it's just one substance that you have an issue with, you end up opening the door for the rest of them. So I really abused everything, every way that you could use it.
I think drug of choice really refers to which one was your favorite.
Yeah.
You know
True.
what I mean?
Okay, so if that's the case, my favorite was Xanax and heroin.
Okay, I thought you were just going to say Xanax. I was about to be disappointed.
No. The H-bomb is definitely what brought me to my knees. So that's definitely the main part of my story. But I grew up with an alcoholic father. My parents were really young, so I was like born into chaos. There was nothing normal about my upbringing. And I fell into line with that. So it was incarcerations. I was running away. I have been institutionalized since I was a kid, from juvie to girls' group homes to that gnarly behavior modification program in Mexico I got sent to.
What?
Yeah, they did a documentary about it. It's on Netflix. It's called The Program, Cults, Cons, and Kidnapping. So
was it like sex trafficking?
No.
Well, I'm just asking to learn, bro.
It was concerned parents sent their kids there. There was like, they were all over the world. There was one in Jamaica, and people would send their kids there to help. It was like a behavior modification program. And I don't remember a lot from that. Like, I don't remember a lot from my life. I think I told myself that I blacked it out because I was just burnt out.
So it might have been sex trafficking.
It might have been
blacked
sex
it out.
trafficking, yeah.
Okay.
But they got shut down for an entirely different reason. So I feel like if it was sex trafficking, that would have came out, you know? So I did that. I got out of that place and I was 18 years old and jumped right into my first abusive relationship. And in that relationship, I got introduced to heroin. And like growing up, you would think with my family being on my dad's side the way that they are, which is everybody, in my opinion, has a problem with alcohol or drugs, that I would have heard the word addict or alcoholic, but I didn't. Even in all those programs I went to, I feel like everyone was always trying to tell me what was wrong with me as opposed to really addressing the problem, which at the time I had no idea that I suffered from any of that stuff. I just thought I was a knucklehead. And so I'd go see psychiatrists, or I went to that program and they're like, it's your trauma and you're crazy. I've been diagnosed with everything.
Checks out.
Yeah. And so I start doing heroin. And because I was in that behavior modification program in Mexico, I know how to speak a little Spanglish, and the Pisces loved me. And so that consumed the next 12 years of my life. So I was in and out of jail. When I got my mug shots a couple years back, they did that recovery trend. I got my mug shots. I will insert one of them here, the worst one. And I'm going to do you too, so don't think that you're getting off.
I'll send you all of them and you can pick which one is the most fucked up.
That I had like 26 CCDC arrests. I had been to city jail here in Las Vegas a handful of times. Never had the luxury of Henderson, although I hear good things. And that was it. And then I'd get locked up and I'd be removed from the substances, or I'd get out of jail and I'd go to rehab. And I always had like these plans. I'm like, okay, maybe if I just stay away from the dude that's beating me, or if I get a job, or if I spend more time with my family, like it'll be different this time. And it never was. Never. My dad got sober in prison and found Jesus Christ. And so when he told me that, he's like, Jesus delivered me from it. So I tried it. I would go to church sober. I would go to church loaded. I'd walk up to the altar. I'd cry. I meant it. And then it never worked for me. So I just like developed that idea. He was like 24, 25 years old, that like God just didn't do business with women like me. Like I was too far gone past the point of redemption. And so like that was out. And I went to prison a couple times. I'm a two-time convicted felon. The first time I went was in 2015 for attempt possession of a stolen vehicle. I don't know why they call it attempt. I definitely stole it. Definitely had the fucking keys. But all right. And then the second time was in 2018, and the last time, God willing, I'll ever have any trouble with the law. But I shot this dude that was trying to rape me with a nightstick. And I was a felon in possession of a firearm, and the judge had leniency on me, and I went to prison and I did 2 years. Got out. Wish I could stay. I stayed sober, but I didn't. Um, and it was probably about 8 months after that release that I found sobriety. And my initial motivator was just getting my kids back. CPS had taken my kids, and I'm in a relationship with this dude I don't like. I'm doing a drug I don't like, and they take my only like beacon of light. And this time it was enough. And so I went to Crossroads, Plug Crossroads. Crossroads is an amazing treatment center here in Las Vegas. And my plan was just, I'm just going to get the drugs out of my system and go to family court next week. Because don't you know that without them, I'm a solid human being. And
Yeah,
luckily, that's not the way it played out. And at this particular treatment center, it's a requirement that you go to 12-step meetings. And so I started going to these 12-step meetings, and I saw these people that sounded like me. Their stories sounded like me. And I saw women showing up with their kids. And I'm like, maybe they're on to something. And I worked the 12 steps of this program, and the rest of it's history. That is how I got there. I will say that I have multiple friends in my life that have different pathways. The 12 steps is not the only pathway to recovery, it is just my truth. Um, and I've been abstinent from drugs and alcohol for 4.5 years.
let's go.
Yeah, got connected with that God, higher power. I choose to call God today.
Who knew that
Um,
prison was the place where he was hiding? That's
I know,
crazy.
I know. Everybody talks about jailhouse salvation. And can I just say, I think it's a beautiful example because people find God when the distractions are cut off.
I mean, it's the foxhole prayers thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a Jesus person, but I guarantee you, pretty much every time I've been like, I got court the next day and I'm in jail, I'm reading the fucking Bible. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
really into it. And I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, Job, save
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm going into the whale's mouth.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, or I'm praying. I'm literally on my knees praying. I'm like, God, just if you help me this one time, promise I'll change. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I probably meant it. I don't know. Couldn't remember.
Yeah.
All right. So, my name is Curtis. I have been in recovery a little, I think close to 6.5 years now. Um, I don't know. My upbringing was a little different. My dad died when I was 6, and I don't remember too much about him. Or this red car that he had, and that he was a Raiders fan. Uh, my mom was also an alcoholic. My mom was a very functioning alcoholic. She liked that box wine. You know what I mean? The Franzia. I think it was the White Zinfandel was her
Yeah.
jam. And but she worked like 2 jobs. She always provided for me. Uh, I feel like my alcoholism came more as a product of neglect rather than abuse, or not to say abuse, but like dysfunction. Mine was just more of neglect. My mom would work 2 jobs, and then she was a big bowler, so she would be in these bowling leagues, and she would spend all her free time in the bowling alleys, and so I like raised myself. You know what I mean? I got up every morning, learned real young. You know, at 8 years old, I was doing my own laundry, cooking my own meals. Um, And then meth was my first exposure to any kind of drugs or alcohol. I was 11 years old. I discovered it from my sister. Me and my friend just walked in on them when they were, back then you didn't smoke it or you were like a dirty crackhead, but they were sniffing meth, and we wanted to fit in, and they're like, "Are you guys cool?" And we're like, "Fucking hell yeah," you know what I mean? Like, and it was my first exposure to anything, and it just made me feel good. You know what I mean? I can't really say, like, I was so young and it was so long ago. Like, I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I was like a nerdy little kid. I used to get bullied and all this and that, and but it just made me feel good. You know what I mean? Like, it made everything fun and entertaining, and until it wasn't, on and off, like doing drugs. Like, it got real bad. Where I was stealing my mom's shit and selling it, and like at 15, she kicked me out, and I would live with my friends, um, couch surfing and this and that. When I was 19, I just got sober. I just stopped doing it. I moved to Las Vegas. My mom had moved out here. I moved out here. I stayed with her, met a girl, moved in with her. Like, we kind of built everything up to a marriage, and I had two kids from a previous marriage. She had two kids from her previous guy, and then we had a daughter together. And everything went fine for a while until it didn't. You know what I mean? And I remember when the housing market crashed, stress just built up, and like we started using. You know what I mean? It started with meth, and then it progressed to pain pills, and which eventually turned into heroin, like it always does. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And yeah, same thing. You know what I mean? I've several trips in and out of prison. I become homeless in like 2008. Shortly after we started using, I become homeless, and I end up going to prison twice, like two state trips, two federal trips. I'm also a convicted felon, state and federal, and I like what you said. Like, what really we'll always think about is like everybody has a different path to this. You know what I mean? I know some people are very like one way, and you got to come in here, have no reservations for the 12 step program. Like, you got to come in here and be all in or all out. And like, I just know a lot of people that's not the case, and that wasn't for me. Like, I got put into drug court. I went to Freedom House Sober Living, plug Freedom House, and I wasn't willing. I didn't want this. I didn't want to be sober. Like, I didn't want to stay sober. I just didn't want to go back to prison. You know what I mean? You came in initially for your kids. Some people are like, "Oh, you got to do it for yourself. Can't be for the kids. Can't be like," but whatever gets you in the door, you know what I mean? And like,
Right.
and it got me in the door, and it sat me down long enough that like I started seeing results, and I started seeing a little bit of change in myself, and eventually, somewhere along the line, this became my idea. You know what I mean? Yeah, and here I am, like 6 years later, and like life is pretty fucking dope. You know what I mean? We get to hang out and do all kinds of fun stuff. Like I was saying, like I didn't think I was gonna have fun. I didn't. The first time I went to a show, like I was afraid to go in the mosh pit. I was standing back, and like I used to go in every pit. I'd be drunk and messed up, and just like throw my body to the wind. And like I remember the first time I went, it was Obituary was playing,
Mm.
and I was like standing there, and like I was just like, man, what if I hurt my knee? I got to work tomorrow. Like, what if I get hurt? Like, and it took a while, but like the fun is still there. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why we're doing this, is like to have some fun with it. Like, the last thing you want is for your recovery to become boring and mundane.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I always think it's so interesting, and I know, and I'm not gonna like get all steppy because that's not what this is, but um, I definitely did have a spiritual awakening, and the reality is that 35 years of my life, I was asleep. I thought that I was living, but I wasn't. I was
yeah,
like the Walking Dead, bro. In
it's
all
existing.
transparency,
You're not
I
living. You're existing.
surviving, existing, like
Yeah.
there was nothing. So when I got sober and I started doing stuff, there was even movies that I watched and I was like, it was like I'd seen them before, but it was like I was seeing them for the first time.
Yeah.
And like concerts and all that, like I really feel like I was just dead for a long time because I used to avoid my feelings.
Yeah.
So when you start feeling everything, that in itself is a whole different
I
experience.
don't
But
remember a day of my 30s.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember
I
a day in my
smoked my
20s.
whole I
Yeah.
smoked my whole 30s out. I was like,
Yeah.
no way. I woke up one day, I was 43 and getting sober, and I was like, wait, I was 29 the other day. Like, what the fuck happened?
Not the other day. I feel that way about my 20s too. I do. I don't even, God, I think back to some of those relationships and I'm like, ugh, bro, the insecurity. And I don't know. anybody that can confidently say that like they were confident when they were using or in their active addiction, but I was so insecure. So like if you look at my track record of dating, it's reflected. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
that's, I mean,
it's
and that's also looking back. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
when I'm out there, dude, I think I'm the coolest shit ever. Like I'm
Yes.
so confident.
Yeah.
I used to have people come, like people I would know from before I was getting messed up, and they would run into me on the streets and they're like, "Hey, man, are you okay?" And you could just see the look of like terror in their face. You know what I mean? 'Cause I look like shit. I look like a
Right.
zombie, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm doing great." And they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you fucking look it, bro. Like you look
Yeah.
like shit." And I'm like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
And then they walk away, and I'm like, I don't think they knew.
The
They
delusion.
they
Yeah,
yeah, they couldn't
100%.
tell. They don't know I was high. You know what I mean?
100%. My family, I would make up the most elaborate stories, or like somebody that I'm hustling for money, like, oh, my car, or I'm short on my rent when I'm homeless. Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Living in a bando, like, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, everybody's buying this. But the reality is that I was delusional, and
Yeah.
most people probably just felt bad for me.
Makes sense. Yeah, I get it. And I feel the same thing. I was such a mess. I was very self aware when I was out there though. Like
Yeah.
I know people that are out there and they're like, I don't have a problem. I don't have. I think feel like more like alcoholics have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not bad. I'm still going to work. Like when you're homeless and like doing heroin, you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm a junkie.
The
But
delusion is
I
smashed.
glorified it. You know what I mean? People are like, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm free. I don't have to answer to nobody. You know?
I think the first time I ever had that, I mean, obviously, but when that's all you hang out with, like, I didn't really, I knew that it was a problem, but I thought heroin was the problem.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I was the
If I
problem.
could
You know
just
what I
quit
mean?
doing heroin, I'll be
Yes.
fine.
I'm stuck in
Yeah.
this cycle because of heroin. I
Yeah.
didn't think that it was me. And I remember I was hanging out with this dude, and he was a friend, and I say friend lightly because I don't know that I ever had any of those really, but he said, yeah, I'm gonna die a junkie. And that like moment of clarity in there, that I was like, ugh, I don't want to do that.
I feel like I've said the same shit.
Yeah.
I was resigned to die out there. I was cool
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. I didn't, I overdosed a couple times. um I overdosed once when I got out of prison.
Ooh, I like the overdose stories. This guy got some good ones.
Yeah, and I took Klonopin, and I smoked heroin. And this is why I always get on people. I'm like, bro, don't say you can't overdose from smoking it, because you can. Now,
Yeah.
granted, probably that was a bad combination, but that's what I was doing. And I just kept nodding out, nodding out. And the dude I was with kept waking me up, like trying to get it. And I was like, chill, bro, I'm good. And I nodded out and then came to in the Henderson hospital, and they had cut open my shirt. I was freezing, and they had Narcaned me and brought me back to life.
Sick as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just remember, I remember I was really surprised that he was there. So after like all the doctors and everything cleared from around me, when I like came to, I remember seeing him sitting there crying, and I was like, that's solid. And so I entered in a relationship with that dude and stayed with him for
That's all it takes.
a minute. You didn't just dump me outside the emergency room. You're a keeper.
He was crying because you never gave him a hit off the foil.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm grateful. I also am super grateful that I got out before fentanyl became what it is, you know?
Oh yeah, I got sober in 2019, and then COVID hit, and I feel like right about then is when you started hearing about fentanyl.
Yep.
And I'm shitty at doing heroin.
Yeah.
I've overdosed 9 times.
Oh my God.
I think I've been Narcan 3 times, twice by my friend George. Shout out George. So dude, the first time I overdosed, right? I'm at Shelter Islands,
Oh,
and
that's a great place.
and I'm up on the 3rd floor, and I can't even remember who I was with. I was with some just low lifes, you know what I mean? And I'm hanging out, and I had just recently graduated to shooting heroin as opposed to smoking it, and which left me. Well, I was so disappointed in myself at that point.
Yeah.
That I had wasted so much dope throughout so many years. You know what I mean?
Right.
As soon as I shot it, I was like, oh, I get it. And so I'm on the couch in the living room at Shelter Islands, and I do this shot, and I like fall out, and I'm just high. You know what I mean? I think. I don't know. I don't even know if I overdosed this time or not. They certainly did. So I fall out. I come to, and I'm not on the couch anymore, and I don't know how much time has gone by. And I'm in the bathtub, and my pants and my underwear are around my ankles, and there's a dude thumb packing ice cubes in my ass. And And they were like ice cubes. They were like the big fucking rectangles with the sharp edges.
Yeah.
So they weren't going up easy, you know what I mean?
Right.
And this guy's just like, I don't know how many ice cubes had gone up my ass, but I remember waking up like with the most terrifying revelation, like, oh my God, I'm being raped. Or I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the first thing I feel is like,
Yeah.
something going in my ass. It's not even the cold. It's just the going through the threshold. And yeah, that was, and then I woke up and I'm like fight or flight mode, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, dude, you're dying. And I'm like, but why are you putting shit in my ass? Like, I get that, thank
Right.
you, but I didn't know. I have no experience with this, you know what I mean? I don't know that the protocol is to jam ice cubes in your
This is
asshole
the
when
first
you
time I'm hearing this.
really
Yeah. Are you sure that dude just didn't want to put something in?
fuck.
I think the
I
shower
don't
might have
know.
worked, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I was in the tub. All they had to do was hit the switch.
There's no water. You're completely dry, just ice cubes in
Not
your
my
ass.
asshole. Yeah,
Right?
that's fucking.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
But I'm
gonna have
glad
to.
you're here.
Well, yeah. Now I'm not so glad I am. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I've never heard that before, legitimately.
Yeah, we'll have to
but
ask ChatGPT. It's
it
like I've never
worked.
heard of such a thing. Like, I got fucked.
It worked though.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
all
didn't
that
die.
matters.
Yep. Like,
So,
no, but did you die? No, but I got raped with ice cubes.
yeah.
Like, sexually assaulted. There was 3 dudes in there, so I mean, if that makes it less gay or
It doesn't.
less rapey,
No,
it
it doesn't. But the intention was good.
Well, I got that on my resume now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And on the internet.
Oh,
I've known you for a while and I didn't know this story.
really?
Thank you for sharing this with
Yeah,
me.
of course. Want to hear about my suicide story?
I mean,
You probably heard that one.
no.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I tried to commit suicide one time, but so this was deep into my homelessness, like where I'm real grimy and I'm super strung out on heroin, and I was really broke up about my marriage, which had gone off the rails like 6 years earlier. And I had just been homeless and doing heroin the whole time, but I would get into these weird funks where
Right.
I would just be like, man, if only she would do, you know what I mean? And she had cheated and all this stuff, you know what I mean? I had gone to prison. It was a wrap. It was destroyed. But like in my head, I was still like, this is why I'm fucked up. Like it's her fault. It's not mine, you know? And I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to live. You know what I mean? I don't want to die when I'm out there, but like every day when I wake up, I'm just like, oh fuck.
Same.
I woke up again, you know what I mean? Like, damn it, now I gotta do this stuff, go on missions and so one day I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna end it. But I'm way too big of a pussy to hurt myself, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
pain sucks. So and it was the middle of summer, so I decided that I would just lay out in the sun and just let the sun kill me. And
I think I have heard this story.
yeah. So on Trop in Decatur, there's a Walgreens, and there's a little hill from the parking lot to the sidewalk, and it's got like this AstroTurf
Not
grass.
in the Walgreens.
Well, no, it was the parking lot.
Okay, I'm
But
sorry.
there's AstroTurf little hill that like you could walk down to the sidewalk, you know, and so I laid out on the AstroTurf, and it was hot as fuck. I remember, and I laid there for like 2.5 days.
Oh my God.
Before
Curtis.
anybody I knew, a couple people I knew walked by and they would see me and they would just be like, oh, and they just keep going, you know what I mean? And then finally, this friend I know, she's like my best friend out there, walked up and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm killing myself. And at this point, you gotta like, I'm dehydrated, I'm sunburnt as fuck. I look
Right.
like
Castaway.
yeah,
Tom Hanks
yeah,
in
straight castaway, dude. And my lips are cracked. I look like I've been smoking crack for fucking a week, and I'm burnt the fuck up. I probably weigh like 100 pounds, if that.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm killing myself." And she's like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "The sun. I'm almost there." And she's like, "Get the fuck up." And I'm like, "No, I want to die." And then she says, "I've got a bag," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Help me up."
Yeah.
That's
all it takes,
All it
yeah.
takes, yeah. Maybe I wasn't that heartbroken. I just was dope sick or something. But yeah, that was my whole suicide story.
I have heard that story.
Yeah, I don't think I've actively tried to kill myself. Like I
Yeah.
always said, suicide is fucking the weak way out. You know what I mean? I figured if
Yeah.
the sun did it, it would be like just a tragic event and it wouldn't count as
yeah,
a.
like natural causes.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't fucking. I don't know. Natural causes.
There's something that you said that got me thinking, and I can't remember what it is now. I cannot remember it all, but
Good segue.
yeah, dude. I there's so much stuff that when I think back to
I think it
like,
might have been the not wanting to be alive. Because that always seems to, when I hear people say that, it always
yeah,
makes me think shit. Like,
no, that I mean, I definitely agree. I was disappointed every time I woke up in the
mm,
morning, and it was just like a cycle that I was stuck in forever that I literally thought never was going to end. And the cool part was even when I got an out, like I would get locked up. I hear people say they were in jail for 2 days, and I love that for you. I always got locked up for like 4 months, 30
dude,
at minimum
me
in
too.
jail. They never like it was never OR
I used to
except
saw
for
all these dudes that would get busted with dope and they'd be out and they'd be like,
yeah,
how'd you get out in 3 days? They'd be like, I got a walkthrough, bro. And I'm like, so who'd you tell on?
right,
Like,
that
and
part
and I don't know if that's true, but like in my head, I was always like, because I would get a jaywalking ticket or like trespassing. I'm in
gone.
there for 4 months
Mm-hmm.
every fucking time.
And I had all these outs, and I had no I like I said, I was good. You know what I mean? I would not be sick anymore. I'd be able to sleep regularly because you know that's a bitch when you're coming off of opiates is that you can't sleep for a month. That part sucks. So I'd get like significant a good chunk of time, and then I'd get out and I'd go right back to it. And it's always that delusion that like, oh, if I just use a dime every 3 days,
I always had that thing in my head. As long as I only use it for 2 days straight
yep, I'm good.
and I don't do
Oh,
three, then I won't be addicted again.
that has to be a universal thing.
Well,
Yeah.
because we've all been told that if you do heroin for 3 days straight, that's when you'll have withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
And if you only do it for 2 days straight, you won't withdraw.
But the reality is it's all centered in our head.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, it's
Once
all
I get
centered.
started, I just don't want to stop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not like, oh, I don't have to do it today because I won't be sick. I want to do it today because I like the way it feels.
Yeah.
I don't like the way I feel
No.
ever.
Sober? No.
Yeah.
I mean, it took some time. It really took some time. And bro, I couldn't. Especially in early sobriety, I was a mess. Even after I got through the withdrawal, like I still had the entitlement. I thought that I was somebody. I thought I was cute. I thought I had all the answers. It talks like the self knowledge, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I went through PHP and IOP, so I know now. Like, I know my
Oh,
problem.
I've been
I'm good. I
educated.
got this, right? And the grandiosity of it all is awful. I was a mess. When I think back to like the way I acted and some of the like opposite sex interactions I had, like, oh, bro, I was still chasing that validation, that feeling outside of myself every time. I'm still, without the drugs and alcohol, I still need something, a person, a dude. I used to drink like 3 monsters a day and a cup of coffee at every meeting I went to because now it has to be the caffeine. It's
Mm.
just always something. I was vaping and smoking cigarettes. Like I just had to do something outside of myself to fix myself. And I'm so grateful that that is not my story today.
I still do that. I've had 2 cups of coffee in the last hour.
Curtis, 2 cups of coffee is not the same.
It's Death Wish.
Death Wish just fired.
Shout out to Death Wish.
Right. If you want to sponsor this,
That would be amazing. Dude, I'll
Death
drink
Wish just
coffee. Dude.
fired.
I'll drink coffee for the whole hour.
Yeah. I love that we're both felons, though. I have a heart for formerly incarcerated people. That was an eye opener for me when I started working where I work. That people that go to prison don't all have issues with drugs and alcohol. That was all my incarcerations. I was either under the influence or on my way to get it every single time.
Prison had the same effect on me that you said it had on you for movies. Remember you said like, you see movies before, but you see them when you're sober and it's
Yeah.
like a different thing. When I went to prison, the first time when I went to prison, I remember when I got out, everything was different.
Yeah.
The sky, like walking down the street, like colors seem more vibrant, and like it's still that way for me today. Like
Yeah.
I'll be driving my truck down the street going somewhere, and I have this sense of like, oh my god, like I'm free to do like, and I never had that before. Like things we take for granted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's a huge like benefit as a human being that unfortunately not everybody gets to do, is that like we've been on both sides of the fence, you know what I mean? I've been the criminal and the degenerate and the fuck up and the fucking low life, and then today I get to be like, today I'm like a citizen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a driver's license, like I try to help people, I try to be a good person, and like regular people who aren't criminals are like normal people, like they don't have that, you know what I mean? Like before all this happened, I used to see homeless people and people that were like, and I was just like, ew, I'm avoiding that dude. Like, no,
Yeah.
you can't have $1. Like, the fuck, bum. You know what I mean? And then like I became that dude, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like today, like, don't get me wrong, I don't help every single person I see on the street, but like I see them now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like when I can, I will help people. You know?
Yeah. It's true. I think it's just that empathy factor. You can't fake lived experience.
Yeah,
You
and
have
there's
like
a lot of
this.
understanding that comes with it, not just
Yes.
empathy. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and just relating, right? And
Yeah,
so that person that you don't understand or you don't know their backstory, it's you're not so quick to judge.
yeah,
And I do the same thing. I usually, if I'm not in a position to help or they don't ask me to, like I usually pray for people, even if it's just like in my head, like God, I pray for that person or circumstance. Um, because yeah, dude, it's hard. And I've heard so many different, there's so many different realities and circumstances that lead us to where we end up at like our lowest in life,
yeah.
and nobody's exempt, you know what I mean? Not everybody's an addict and alcoholic, but like I know people that are homeless that they don't suffer from that. It was
And
just
not
a
everybody's an alcoholic or an addict, but like I feel like one bad decision,
100%.
one bad choice, and anybody is
100%.
there. You know what I mean?
Or you're a criminal and you're in
Yeah,
jail, you know what I
yeah,
mean? I've seen a lot of people, like normal functioning successful people, and they get behind the wheel drunk and now they're in prison for 8 years, you know what I mean? Whole life gone. It's just one decision away. That's a
yeah.
little dramatic of one, but I just mean like
I used to
no.
tell the cops that I would get arrested, and the cops would be like, they don't have empathy or understanding for this, but like they would say something about like the drug use or like me being a junkie, and I'm in the back of their car and I'm like this, and I'm like, yeah, you're one choice away from being me, dude. And the guy's looking back at me and he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it's true, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's true. You never know what life brings.
Mine wasn't from like a from a perspective of like knowledge or like self awareness. It was just me talking
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
100%.
Think you're better than me, punk?
Yeah. God, I do
Fuck you,
not miss
cops.
that. I do not miss
Yeah.
jail.
There's another
Even the
perspective
thought.
shift too. Like the cops, like
Yeah.
you've been to prison, been to
Yes.
jail 100
Yes.
times. Like they were always the enemy.
Yeah.
Fucking punk ass cops. Fucking, they're the bad. Like, I got sober and like that was the biggest thing for me was the day hit. And I couldn't tell you what day it was, but like there was a day when suddenly I realized like they're not the fucking bad guys.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like nowadays, I run into cops or like we see them in like recovery events and stuff like that. And like I'm friends with some of them, and
Yeah.
like for the most part, there's bad people in every.
Profession.
Yeah,
Period.
there's gonna be a dickhead here and there. I mean, we'll get into that some other time, but yeah, they're not the bad guys. You know what I mean? And like there was a point at which I realized that, and that was a huge thing for me. You know what I mean? Um,
Yep.
I have I have judges' phone numbers, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that I can text or like, sometimes there's POs that will call me and ask about clients of theirs, like if I know them and like how, and like that's, those are the bad guys and they're really not, If we were doing
No.
our job, they would be out of a job.
Right. I agree. And I have a couple of police officers that I'm friends with today, and they're cool people. I mean, like you said, there's not good ones. I have great experiences with probation officers, parole officers. I will say I'm still working on my experience or an opinion
There's a
with.
fly.
I know it visited me too. I'm still working on my like opinion with correction officers, only because I work with the prison. I work with the prisons, multiple of them, and like Casa Grande, the transitional housing, and God, some of those POs. I mean, some of those COs. So I will say this is just
I
my
do
truth.
feel like they are a little less understanding than like
Ugh,
beat cops or
God.
yeah.
I'm not there yet with correction officers, but
Yeah.
parole, probation, police officers, especially when I've seen like the degree to the amount of police officers that truly want to help people not reoffend and want
Yeah.
to help people rehabilitate their lives, or like
I feel like with a
shake
lot
my
of the reentry
hand.
shit and the prison system, a lot of it's money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If we don't reoffend or there's not a plethora of people going in and out, like
right.
it somehow affects them negatively. I don't know.
It's,
I don't know how. I don't know the extent of that. Like I'm not even gonna look it up because I really don't care that much.
yeah,
But I do get that impression sometimes from
yeah,
certain people I've seen. The one sponsee I had, like I told you what happened, and like I was just like, oh, weird. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
That's how the system's designed out here. I
and at
can't
the
speak
same
for
time, I
everywhere.
wouldn't want that fucking job though.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
yeah,
wouldn't want to be a CO.
No, me either.
You know what I mean? That
Absolutely
just, it
not.
sounds like the most miserable shit ever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not paid real well. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um but I do know that like the system in Nevada is designed that way. It's designed to kind of set you up to be a revolving door. And I only say that because if you look in any of our facilities, there's nothing in place to help you not come back,
yeah.
to help you address whatever it is that led you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So true rehabilitation, right? Or corrections. When someone gets locked up, you're going to help them address what led them there,
Prison to
not
me
just make
feels
them
like
serve time.
detox without any kind of case management or long-term shit to
Right.
follow. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're locked up for this much time. When you're done, we're just going to release you.
Yep.
In a shitty part of town.
Right.
You know what I mean?
With nothing.
Don't worry, we'll drop you off downtown.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Good luck. Yeah. Make sure you check in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Fremont Street's a block away, and you can pretty much buy any kind of drug you want there.
I was at Golden Nugget last week with Josh, and he was like, "Have you been here before?" And I was like, the county jail is right there. So when you come out, this is the first place you come, either for a cigarette, charge your phone, use somebody else's phone. Like, so yes, I have many memories in this casino because I feel like it's everybody's first stop.
Oh yeah,
for the most part.
Well, there used to be that gas station that was right down that little street.
Yeah.
When you get out of the back door,
mm-hmm.
And I remember they would give you a cigarette if you got out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I know they give you a free bus ride if you show them like your.
Oh yeah.
That like paperwork they give you in the bus drivers usually let you on for free.
My homeless spot was Trop in Decatur, and so many times I've walked from county jail to Trop in Decatur.
That's far.
Hella far. But there's a bunch of CVS's and Walgreens on the way going down the strip. Yeah. So I would go inside each one of those and steal shit. So by the time I got to Trop in Decatur, I would have a bunch of stuff to sell to the Mexicans in the Home Depot parking lot. So I could pretty much get well as soon as I got home.
Yeah. So it was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's balling. I'd get out of so much Tide Pods and like body wash by the time I got there.
What are you carrying it in?
You just steal a backpack from the first one you go to.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart.
They also have backpacks. They have little, they provide you with all the shit. You know what I mean? It's just like when I broke into department stores, same thing. They provide you with all the essentials.
In when it was like closed?
Yeah, at night.
Oh.
That was my jam.
Okay.
Whenever I share in meetings, like if I'm telling my story, if I'm the speaker, I always talk about that. Like when I was on the streets, I thought I was a criminal mastermind. You know what I mean? Like I had the best plans from counterfeiting to breaking into department stores. So I learned TJ Maxx was my favorite. And, they close at night. They lock the doors and it's glass windows in the front. And so I would go around midnight, 1:00 when everybody's gone, parking lot's empty. And there's always a grocery store. I'll run you through the whole thing. So I take the bus there first because I'm a straight loser. And and I'm solo. So I take the bus there, not a thing in my pockets, nothing on me. There's always a grocery store within a stone's throw from, in the next across the street or whatever. Durango and Warm Springs. I'll use that one this was my favorite TJ Maxx to rob because it's way out on the outskirts of town. So late at night, once they're closed, like there's not a lot of traffic. Right. It's dark as fuck around there. Right across the street, there's a Smith's, or is it Albertsons? There's a grocery store. And you go down the little home aisle in the grocery store and they have like a little generic tool section. So they've got like the little mini hammer for like nailing up pictures.
Yes.
And so I would shoplift one of those, easy peasy. Go back across the street to TJ Maxx, smash open one of the windows in the front, go inside. Once you go inside, the motion detectors catch you, and the burglar alarms go off. So
you broke the window, Curtis?
Yeah, with a
hammer.
So
how much time do you have to get in there and out once the alarm goes off?
Unlimited.
You just take your time.
So the first couple times I go in there, I go inside, and I'm like full of anxiety, and I'm freaking out, and the burglar alarms go off, and like a little pee comes out. I'm fucking shitting my pants. I'm like, oh my God, fuck. And I run for the door. Wait, go back. Wait, what do I do? But by the third or fourth time, I've learned burglar alarms are just that.
Just to scare you off.
There's not some dickhead in an office going, hey, TJ Maxx is fucking going off. Like, it's not like that. It's just a loud noise. You are on camera. And it's just to scare you away.
Yeah.
Which the first couple times it almost worked.
Yeah.
But I realized real quick that it's just to scare me off. So
Yeah.
once I know that, it doesn't scare me off. I'm dancing around to it in there. And when you go in TJ Maxx, right when you come in the front door, they provide you with some Samsonite suitcases. So you get some good luggage. And I would grab 2 of those. I would go to the jewelry counter and smash open the jewelry counter. And I'm not going for the jewelry because it's like plated and cubic zirconiums, but the watches.
Okay.
The watch section is gold. They have all the brands. You know what I mean? They got the Michael Kors watches. They've got all the high end, but it's last year's models.
Okay.
So they sell them to TJ Maxx. What didn't sell in the stores? You know what I
Right.
mean? I never knew watches are like cars, where it's like the 2007
yeah.
model that's outdated now. So they go to Ross and TJ Maxx, and so I load up one of the suitcases with all the watches. They come with the box and everything. You know what I mean? Here like Versace watches and all the good shit. You know what I mean? You put them in there. Take some jewelry if there is some, but it was mostly the watches. You know what I mean? There'd be 2 cases full of them. The other one I'd fill up with like the Levi 501s. Just take all the stacks, throw them in there, and then you go through the back employee entrance, and the fire door has just the bar. And by law, that can't lock from the inside.
Yeah.
If there's ever a fire, you have to be able to escape through the fire door. You know what I mean?
Right.
It locks from the outside. So you just kick open that fire door. Now, when you kick that open, the fire alarm goes off. That notifies the fire department, not the cops, the fire department. So now I take my 2 suitcases. They have wheels hooked up. You know what I mean? And you roll them. I roll them to the bus stop right there.
And just sit there.
And just sit there at the bus stop. Because if you're a homeless dude with suitcases at a bus stop at 3 a.m. in Las Vegas,
completely inconspicuous.
It's the most normal shit ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I drive by a bus stop now and there's not a homeless guy on it, I'm like, this is a good neighborhood. You know, fucking, I need to move here. And yeah, and I would sit there and like sometimes I'd be there long enough waiting for the bus that you'd see the fire department go by, and then the fire department goes there. They check out the situation. Once they realize it's a robbery and not a fire, they call the cops. You know what I mean? I think once I was there long enough to see the cops go by.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, good times. And then back to Trop in Decatur.
Yeah.
Sell the watches. Yeah. Sell the watches.
Did you ever get caught for that?
Yeah.
I mean, you were on camera dancing to the fucking
and I'm really shit. Like I said, like I'm a criminal mastermind. I'm not a good criminal. Like my execution, trash. You know what I mean? So but like I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a hat. Like I'm just like fucking. I'm a fucking retard in there. You know what I mean? I'm like the worst. I'm the worst.
Is so funny. I would pay to watch that video.
Really just bad at one this. Of them. Yeah. I haven't seen video of it, but I've seen pictures. So I never got caught in the act.
But after the fact.
Yeah. So the last time I got arrested, it was like on a trespassing thing. And I'm in jail. And they call you back down to get rebooked on some new charge. And I was like, what's going on? And they hit me with 3 burglaries. A couple days later, brought me down again, 2 more burglaries. And the next day, 2 more burglaries.
Yeah.
And I think they broke it up into 3 different bookings for a reason. Because so then when I go to court, instead of being on traffic, they're like, yeah, that's a habitual burglary. And I was like, what do you mean? I've never been convicted of burglary or even charged. And they're like, you just got charged 3 separate incidence numbers.
Right.
7 charges. So they had me on habitual burglary. So when I went to court, they were like, yeah, 5 to 20.
Yeah.
And I remember still I'm like this mastermind. So I'm like talking to my public defender. I'm like, all right, so what's the deal? What deal are they offering? And then she's like, fucking deal. What are you talking about? You're fucked.
Yeah.
There's no deals.
That's
the deal is you've been to prison 4 times. You haven't learned.
Yeah.
They know you're a junkie. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I threw up the Hail Mary and I was like, help.
Yeah.
I told her, I'm like, listen.
And that's when you got drug court. That's your sobriety.
Yeah. And shout out to Pandora 11 was my, this lady was my public defender.
Her name is Pandora?
Pandora.
Dope name.
Yeah. She's super cool. Like, I don't know how, but like, I told her what was going on and I was like, you know, I was honest. Probably the first time I've ever been honest in my life. And I was like, I got a problem. Like, I'm a heroin addict. Like, I don't want to be this. And I think somewhere in her past, she had somebody in her life that had issues. And she wrote like a 6-page email to the DA, like pleading my case. And yeah, so instead of sticking me back in prison, which would have been forever because I do all the bad shit in prison. So at 43 years old, they're telling me 5 to 20, and I would have turned that into forever. I know I would have. And yeah, so they gave me a chance in drug court. And even then, I didn't go into this thing like, fuck, I better change, dude. It's the rest of my life. It was just like, whew, escaped that one. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it kept me sitting there long enough till, like I said, I heard some stuff. I started seeing results, and like my life just got good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Surround yourself with good people, like you'll have a good life. You know,
Absolutely.
I always tell people that. Crystal gets mad at me when, the last few years when I'll take a milestone and I share, and everybody, because when you take a certain amount of years, like when you took 4 years, everybody's like, oh my god, you're so amazing, and like
Yeah.
I have a million texts and people are posting stuff on social media about me, and then like I share, and I'm like my truth is I'm not really that amazing. I didn't do this perfect. Like I'm not the king of recovery. Like I fuck up. Like I'm a dick sometimes. Like I talk a lot of shit. Like, but what I did do right is like I just didn't get high, and I surrounded myself with good people. And I feel like the surrounding yourself with good people
It's
is the key to
important.
victory. Like
Yep.
if you surround yourself with people that are on some bullshit, you're gonna be on some bullshit.
Right.
If I surround myself with good, positive people who like are helping other people, and like you're gonna follow in suit. Like we're creatures of habit. Like you're gonna follow the herd when it comes time to eat. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if people are
Yeah, I
heading
like that.
towards bad shit, yeah.
You're gonna follow the herd when it comes time to eat. Bars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm dropping bars.
I disagree with the amazing person part though, but I get it. Because all the things you listed after you said that is what makes you an amazing person. You're
Yeah.
kind of a dick.
Hey.
You are.
All right.
But I love it.
All right.
Kind of a dick. Surround yourself with amazing people. The reality is, if you're not an amazing person, amazing people don't want to be around you. Nobody wants to kicking around with a loser who's next. You know what I mean? Like it's
the level
not,
of
it's like
shit
one of the
I talk
same.
sometimes, it surprises me that people want to hang out with me.
Yeah,
Like
but we don't expect anything different.
all my dickhead friends, I get it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I understand why you want to hang out with me, like birds of a feather and all that. But like, there's some people in my life that are super positive, and they're
Yeah.
very spiritual, and they don't shit post and do stuff like that. And like,
Are you trying to say I'm not spiritual and not positive? Because that's what I heard.
no, you're just kind of a dick and talk a lot of shit too.
Okay.
You can be. I don't mean spiritual and positive. I mean like there's people that like
Are
I've
very. I
never
know what
heard
you
say
mean.
a
I'm just
negative
giving
thing. And like,
you a hard time.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And they're like, I love you. You're amazing. And I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
crazy. To up my game, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
You're like, I gotta be worse next
Yeah,
time
let me
you
get
see
myself.
me.
Damn it! How do I get canceled? What do I got to do?
I love it though, dude. It's authenticity. I'll gravitate toward an authentic person who doesn't give a fuck before I like gravitate towards somebody who I feel like feels like they have to be a certain way.
And that's the way we should be. Like, be yourself. Like, I'm a little abrasive and a little immature, very immature, and kind of childish, and like I'm okay with that. Like I've had some people like mentor, you know, mentor level people to me that have kind of called me out on stuff like that, and they're like, why do you got to post that? And like, I don't know, because it makes me smile. You know what I mean? It makes me happy. I don't want to be miserable. That's what this podcast was about. Was like, I don't want to be sober and have to take myself so seriously, and like I want to post dick memes and like and offensive shit sometimes because I see it and it makes me laugh. Like I'm like, that's funny. Maybe it'll make somebody else laugh, and like lo and behold,
right,
it works out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
and I have appreciation for the people that are like ultra serious in this thing. Like we need that. You know what I mean?
We do. We need them to balance it.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think-
also we need to laugh and like have a good time and like.
Yes, it's like I will say there are some things you do that are very immature, but if you look at your life as a whole, it's not immature at all. Like you're a very responsible human being.
Even that you would consider like overly immature. Like what did I do?
You just do some things. I'll take notes, and
Okay.
next time I'll give you some. You just say some shit sometimes, dude. That is just like. I'm like, oh my God. And that's fine. That's part of who you are. And that's why I love you. I just mean, you said it. You said I can be immature. And I just wanted to say that. It's
that you agree.
Personality wise, yes, at times, most of the time. But if you look at your life, you're not an immature person.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
No, but I'll figure it out. Okay. I'll rewatch this and
figure it out.
Or I won't. We both have the same cup. Just like to notice that for the fans, and that's by coincidence.
That's awesome. We don't have fans yet, design. But hopefully one day.
We have fans.
So yeah, I'm glad that we got like our stories out of there. So now we can kind of roll into some other shit. I would like to get to a space eventually where we bring some other people on because we have some very fucking entertaining characters in our life.
I've got some names.
And I also want to open it up so we can get questions, stuff to answer, or I've got some names, stuff to answer or stuff to talk about. But yeah, just wanted to introduce ourselves.
I feel like if anybody watching this can shed any light onto the validity of jamming ice cubes in somebody's ass if they're overdosing, if that's a real thing, or if I have been a victim of sexual assault, let me know, because I don't know that Google's going to have the answer to this. I'm going to find out shortly, but yeah, if anybody's ever heard of something like that, I'm sure water, something cold, but like the actual insertion of ice cubes.
I think that was probably like a drug addict's thought of
I
mind.
don't like that you are just taking the side of I got raped.
I've never heard that before. And I also didn't say those words, you did. But I have. Okay, listen, example. So this one homeless dude in our bando overdosed one time. He was an alcoholic, came over drunk, and somebody thought it was a good idea to shoot him up. And he overdosed. It was this one of the scariest things I've watched in real time. I'll never forget this. He just like slowly got stiff and turned blue. Okay. And so we took him and we put him in the bathtub. It was hard because he was heavy. And we turned on the water, slapped him a couple times.
Plus dead weight is fucking a whole different thing.
Thank God he came to. Nobody ever said anything. Well, nobody ever said get the ice cubes. Nobody ever said pull down his pants.
I mean, they might have slapped me first, and this was like next day. We got to up the ante. You know what I mean?
Think they
this. I think I don't know if Narcan was a thing yet, but this, I feel like this was before Narcan.
I think
maybe was so prevalent.
I think that my question is, why they take you to the? They could have just did that where you were at.
Well, there was also females in the living room, and so maybe they didn't want to expose them.
They weren't like, hey, can one of you chicks?
No, I'm overdosed and I'm on heroin. I probably had baby dick. Like, I'm grateful they took me into the next fucking room. I don't want baby dick and stuff going in my ass, both being exposed to girls.
We're gonna Google it. But I've never heard that before. They could be justified. Either way, it saved your life. We're missing the main point, which is that you're here.
Super grateful that my life was saved. I would just like to know if I have also been a victim of sexual abuse.
Okay. Well, as a victim of sexual abuse, I will tell you that it's not fun over here.
I'm not saying it was fun, but I would
No, I know.
I would like to know.
Right.
No.
I think the most important thing is, do you feel abused? You didn't prior to having this conversation.
I didn't. I'm feeling abused that you're just assuming that it was a rapey thing. And that's not a legit thing. I don't know. Cold up the butthole. Like, I feel like, look, drugs work better when you put them in your ass. Why wouldn't? That
is true.
Why wouldn't ice? Oh man.
It doesn't. There's like no angle.
They were the big rectangle ones, like those real generic ice cube trays.
No angle you can hit it from that's gonna make this sound any better.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our first episode of our shit show. And remember,
just because you're fried doesn't mean you're finished.
So stay burnt. We will see you guys next time.